The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Jeremiah Demaray. Welcome to the Insurance WebEx Masterclass, how to generate one meeting a day with super simple cold email templates and LinkedIn. I want to do just a quick sound check to make sure you can hear me okay, and also to kind of see who we have on the call today. We've got a ton of people pouring in. We were at max capacity for this GoToWebinar account with Insurance WebEx. So if you will, just take a moment in the question box, please tell us if you could hear me okay by putting yes. So just put a yes if you can hear me okay. We see, and I'll know, okay, we got Renee who's here. Welcome, Renee. We got Ken. Excellent. Dennis, Jeffrey, Mark, Dwayne, Glenn, Michael, Sini, Clyde. Okay, Vince, Mary. See, okay, now they're coming in fast and furious. Okay, great. Excellent. So you can hear me okay, that's fun. So I'll make sure that we can keep that sound quality high. Now, just so you know, I was using GoToWebinar a little bit earlier today for a private client, and for some reason, there was a little bit of audio problems. So there is a ton of people coming in on this call. So if you run into that where there's kind of a sound issue, please do let me know in the question box, and hopefully GoToWebinar will fix that. So if you're showing up today as all these advisors are coming on the call right now, and you came for the masterclass, how to generate one meeting a day with super simple cold email templates and LinkedIn, congratulations, you're at the right place. And I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge you for investing in yourself today. One of my mentors, Tony Robbins, who I had the privilege of being on stage with, a while back in Milwaukee, surprisingly, I love what he says when he says a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. And if there's no action, you haven't truly decided. So the very fact that you saw this email or this text invitation, you signed up, and not only signed up, but you showed up. Like, you showed up to play today. And I want to just congratulate you and acknowledge you for that. And it's very encouraging for me to work with action takers like this, because it shows that you're at a point in your business where you want to do something to move your business forward. I do want to make something very clear before we get started into the content today, that what I'm going to show you today, there's going to be some pretty impressive, sometimes maybe even unrealistic numbers that some of my private clients have had. And I don't want you to confuse this with any type of get-rich-quick program or promises that, hey, you'll make a fortune for doing nothing. This is a system, and just like all systems, they require work. But the program I'm going to outline today is working like a machine for my private clients who are financial advisors, life insurance agents, retirement planners, 401k specialists, benefit advisors. And I was asked by the Insurance WebEx team if I can come up and share with you what I've been doing on the front lines so that you could use this in your practice as well. But I'm not suggesting that anybody here who invests their time into what I'm going to teach today is going to make a lot of money, because in my opinion, success is really determined by several different factors. And if you have the attitude, if it is to be, it's up to me, then this is for you. So what I'd like to do is to kind of make a deal with you. I'm going to come on camera here so this is not a pre-recorded event. Can you see me okay? Here I am in my office here. Just give me a yes in the box if you can see the video today. Okay, awesome. Laura, Renee, David, Mary, Clyde, Glenn, David, Mike. Okay, awesome. Paula, thank you, Paula. Appreciate that compliment. All right, very good. So I just want to come on video. So the way that this particular Insurance WebEx class is going to be done today is we're going to break it down between training. I'm going to have some Q&A and also an offer. And I want to be very explicit and upfront about that, so you don't feel kind of a cheeseball sales tactic towards the end. So, but here's the deal that I like to make with my audiences is that I'm going to train you today on some tactics and strategies that are working really well that you don't have to hire anybody in order to be successful with, meaning you'll actually be able to get templates and scripts today that you can use in your business today. And if I've demonstrated enough value, all I want is an opportunity at the end to give a small overview of the paid program in case some of you want to join me in that. So if we have a deal that I'm going to be able to do that at the end, provided only I deliver massive value that you would have been happy to pay for, please put the word deal in the question box right now, and we'll have a deal and we'll get started. Okay, looks like we got lots of deals coming in. Very good. And Michael, you're having audio problems. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure what to tell you because everyone else seems to be working okay. Um, Daniel says, "Okay, all right, we're good to go." All right, guys. So with that said, I'm just going to turn off the webcam. I'll come back on towards the end. And by the way, I have a gift that I'm going to give to everybody who stays all the way to the end that I think will really help you in your email marketing efforts. So I'm going to turn off the webcam and we'll get started here. Okay, quick question for you. How many emails do you think an advisor needs to send to make $241,561.13? Give me a rough guesstimate in the question box. How many emails would you need to send to make that amount of money? And just put your guess in there. If you're wrong, I'm not going to call you out. I'm just curious to see what we're thinking. Okay, so we got Daniel who's at 20,000. Jonathan says 10,000. Laura says 25. Pamela says 2,500. 2 million, says Mario. David says 1 to the right person. Very nice, David. Very good. Well, David was actually the closest. This is one of my clients here. And she sent out 2 emails actually to the right people using the right language at the right time. And as a result, made $250,000 in commissions. And just to put that in lifestyle perspective, she had enough cash from those 2 deals to go out and buy one of the world's most expensive pens. It's the Italian Trivaldi limited edition Bentley pen, which retails for $41,000, and have enough money to actually go and buy a Bentley, the Bentley 2016 Flying Spur. So, and have enough money left over to take somebody out to a nice lunch in LA. So imagine that just by being able to have the right message. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but how many of you are confused and a little overwhelmed with the huge variety of social media networks, measurement tools, platforms, engagement strategies, all this noise that the industry has today about doing social media and so forth? Are any of you as overwhelmed and as I have been in the past? I mean, does this sound familiar? Yeah, okay. Jonathan says me. Laura's definitely too much, says Clyde. Me, says Vince. Yeah. And you know what's sad? And this industry is probably very underserved because have you ever been to a webinar or seminar where a guy or a gal stands up and says, "Hey, everybody, you need to engage on social media and your business will be a success"? Well, they never really tell you what to do, and what they don't tell you is the amount of time it takes and how obsessed a lot of these people are with staying connected. These are the people who you see when you go out to dinner with their wives or their husbands, and they're both on the phone all the time. My wife and I have a no phone rule. Tonight's date night, and trust me, we don't have phones on the table, and neither should you. I had the privilege of giving a TED Talk, one of the great honors of my life. And behind stage, here's me and Jake Roper. Jake Roper runs one of the highest viewed YouTube channels in the known universe called Vsauce 3, kind of like a Bill Nye the Science Guy for millennials, has over 1 billion views on their channels. And he was lamenting to me backstage how overwhelmed he is and how it keeps him up at night. And he's always checking his comments. And I felt bad for the guy because, in my opinion, wouldn't you agree that social media should be something we control instead of having it control us? That's the strategies that I teach. So here's why what you're going to learn today is completely different. First, it's not based on any theory or guesswork. This is based on real-world marketing experiments that have generated over $300 million in commissions in life, annuities, retirement planning, group benefits, commercial lines over my 15-year track record. And it's called social selling, which is a much higher, return on investment than social media. And it uses the most common communication tool today, which I know you all have access to because you showed up today, and that's email. And my experience has been that if you're really going to help somebody in the insurance or financial services community, why don't we start with the tool that we all know and we all, can use easily without going through a huge learning curve, and that's email. Interesting study, social media was analyzed by McKinsey, where they took Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Vine, Snapchat, all of that. They combined it to the ROI that's generated through email marketing. And would you know that social media has a 40 times lower return on investment than email? Incredible, right? And that's because this process I'm going to teach you today is guaranteed to work if you do it in the order and the process that we do it. And of course, I have this opportunity for a limited number of people towards the end of our program today. Now, just a little bit about me, so you know a little bit about my story and background. I think it's important to know prior to taking training from somebody, just so you know where their experience is at. I got my career started in a very small startup in Chicago that needed some exposure. And trust me, I had no idea what I was doing. I have no marketing degree. I don't have all the contacts. I never grew up around successful people. Financially, I should say, and I never even knew anybody in my family who was very wealthy, and I have no formal training in marketing. But I found this incredible research on the use of psychology, the use of emails, the use of digital marketing, and I started to test things. And my job at this little company was to generate insurance leads. And I didn't have a budget. I wasn't allowed to spend any money. So I had to get really good. And if I did spend money, it always had to double or triple in return on investment, right? I couldn't spend $100 and make 100. I have to spend 100 and make 300. And I started testing all these things, and I started to find different techniques and strategies that were working. And when I could tell that something wasn't a fluke, meaning I could do it over and over again, I was able to make it successful. So I started to use it and I started to share it. I shared it with this gentleman here, for example, Paul, who's a financial advisor out of Houston, who currently has had 300 appointments in the last 6 months. Or this gentleman, Bill, out of Jacksonville, Florida, also financial advisor. He didn't even have a LinkedIn account when he started. Now, just in his first 3 months, he made $35,000 in commissions. He added 2 agents to his agency in 8 months, and he has had 300 appointments over the past several months. And that's all through using strategies that are easily implemented if you know how to use LinkedIn. Just recently, I was speaking at a conference of producers, and one of the past presidents of NAIFA, NAIFA, came up to me and says, "Hey, Jeremiah, I'm seeing you everywhere now. You're kind of like the overnight success." And while I appreciate the compliment, this is the overnight success that took 14 years, I told him. My work has been featured on Fox News, on Forbes. I mentioned the TED Talk. I've regularly, this is me speaking to a group of 500 of the top producers in the country in Chicago last summer. And I was recently invited to Los Angeles and then to Japan by Jay Abraham, who's the preeminent authority on marketing in the world today. He's personal advisor to Tony Robbins and Guthrie Renker and several other major brands, who invited me to share some of these strategies. Now, I'm not sharing with you this story to kind of impress you. That's not really my style, but to really impress upon you that if somebody who came to this industry that had no idea on how to do anything and was able to figure out by making a ton of mistakes, I know that you can, because I've made all the mistakes and spent the millions of dollars, and I know that I can share those with you. So let me ask you this. Do any of you find this familiar in your business life today. And these are really the symptoms of not using social selling strategies. For example, you're not getting replies to your emails. Put a yes in the question box right now if that sounds like you. The emails to prospects are not getting replies. Okay, lots of yeses on that one. You're getting overlooked by potential clients that you know you could really serve them if they just knew about you. Okay, that's a hot button. You're looking the same as other advisors. Yeah, that's a biggie. The amount of referrals is starting to go down. You don't have enough leads. Your calendar is emptier than it used to be. You're spending more than you should on marketing, and your current methods of marketing are not converting as high. As a result, you can't meet your KPIs moving forward. Do those sound familiar to you folks? Okay, I'm getting a ton of yeses there. But you guys are really great, engaging audience. Thank you. That really makes it exciting for me to share these strategies and this knowledge with you. David goes, "Yep." Okay, so we're on the same page, right? So you should be encouraged to know that these strategies have generated over 2 million consumer inquiries, ranging from health to life to benefits to commercial lines to annuities. And I've had the privilege of teaching these to over 100,000 agents and advisors in 51 countries, and they work because they're based on timeless principles of human psychology. Now, this is kind of the last little slide about my story, and actually has a relevance to what we're doing. This is a slide of me and my wife in our various forms of volunteer work that we do. Ever since we've been married 7 years ago, and since I was about 20 years old, my parents taught me the importance of giving back to the community. And we specialize in working with kids from abused families, disadvantaged youth, orphans, refugees. Pictures of here, we've lived actually in South America for a couple of years, just doing volunteer work in the Andes. This guy down here, you can probably see him on the bottom left. His name is Richard. Richard was a former heroin addict that we met on the streets of Chicago on the south side. That's where you hear all of the wars going on right now, the gang wars. That's where we lived, and that's where he lived. And took a couple of years to gain his trust, but we finally helped him to conquer that habit, even get off his cigarettes. Today, he's also a drug dealer, by the way. Today, Richard is back on the street, but not selling drugs or taking them. He's actually went back on the street to help the people who used to sell drugs to turn their lives around. And his story always encourages me and reminds me that the greatest thing in life is to have time to do the things that you love. So when I share that story with you, it's because the things I'm going to share with you today are scalable, meaning they're things that you can communicate with dozens, hundreds, thousands of prospects in a scalable way, so you're not stuck in front of the computer all day, but rather you can go out there and live the life that you love. So there are 3 main strategies we're going to talk about today. You might want to write these down: email, LinkedIn, and power connections. And here's how I evaluate strategies, if I'm going to use them or not. They have to, number 1, be simple to use. Number 2, be quick to implement. And number 3, be easy to delegate. Wouldn't you agree that it's nice when you have somebody that's simple, quick, and easy to delegate? Well, that's what I'm going to share with you today. So let's talk about email. Just a quick statistic I want you to remember. This number 38. Anybody know what that is? I'm going to give brownie points to whoever wins this one. This is a statistic that has to do with email. What do you think is the statistic? First answer right wins bragging rights. Cost per lead. Interesting, Jonathan. Interesting. Barrel caliber. Interesting. The number of times you must email a client. Very good, Mary. Okay. Time to contact, says Carolyn. Okay. So here's what it is. For every dollar invested, the average return is $38. So imagine that. If you had $100 and you were to put that down, the ROI on that is incredible, right? In the thousands. And here's the thing. The Aberdeen Group did a study. 62% of salespeople who do not use inbound social selling miss their quotas. So let's be honest for a moment here. In the question box, put the word miss if you missed your quota last year. I'm not going to read your name out, but I just want to know who missed their financial goals for themselves. Just put the word miss. I'm not going to read it out, but I just want to know who, kind of missed the target. Okay, there's quite a few that missed it. All right, and you know what? Maybe it's not been your fault. You just haven't been taught how to use this. But you're going to get the advantage today. So the first technique I want to teach you is how to send short, conversational emails that get replies. And the key here is to be brief and ask only one question. The reason is we're all governed by this amygdala that rests in the center of our brain. And this amygdala makes us distracted. It's why maybe if your phone goes off right now, you're going to get distracted. If you have those little pop-ups that come up when you're working, your amygdala gets hijacked. We can't hide it, it's baked in. So the best way is for us to learn how to hijack that so we can use it to our advantage ethically, of course. Let me give you two different emails that can be used to nurture potentially dead leads. You're going to want to copy this, the one on the left. When somebody, have you ever noticed when somebody does not buy from you, we send almost this grovelly email, right? Where the one on the right, like, hey, we're always working on ways to improve, and I recently spoke with you, and since then my efforts have failed. No matter the reason, I hope you feel you could tell me about it, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really sound like the position of somebody who's busy and successful. And that's the impression you want to give. Even if your calendar is wide open, you want to give people the impression that you are busy and successful and you make time for the people that are ready. For example, let me show you the message you could use on the left. Hi, John, you went a little radio silent. Would you like to discuss this or back burner? Best, Jeremiah. Now, which of those two emails, left or right, conveys a sense of authority, conveys a sense of trustworthiness and self-respect, somebody that you'd want to do business with? Yeah, all of you are putting in left, right? Of course. So there's the first email script I would like to encourage you to use. I just recently won back a huge deal by using a little email just like this. Let me give you a second email script you can use. Now, this is really great for all the prospects you have in your system. So do you have a list of prospects right now, maybe on business cards? Maybe they're in Outlook. Maybe you've got a CRM like Salesforce or Wealthbox or something like that. This is for all the people that never bought from you. What you're going to do is take that list and put it into your system. And then you're going to load them into your email solution. I personally recommend Mailshake because it works off of Gmail. And it's like $9 a month and it's a fantastic tool. And you can send multiple sequences and it won't interrupt your regular email. And you're going to send them the single email. Subject line, one of two things. You can use first name. Now that's a powerful one because it's the most powerful word in the English language. When I say the word Daryl, the one Daryl who's on the call, his ears perked up. Or Mary, right? We love to hear our names. Same thing, we love to see our name read. So you just put the first name in the subject line, nothing else. Or you can test quick question. That's a really good one, quick question. Okay, got those two subject lines? Awesome. The email is very simple. It says, John, do you still need help with, and then your name, with your retirement plan, insurance, your benefits, your 401k rollover, your financial planning, whatever it is that you specialize in, that's what you put in there. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, wow, that's too simple to actually work. But that's the genius of it. It's so simple because it looks like somebody wrote it to you one-to-one. Does it actually work? Well, that's actually the email that Lynn sent at the beginning. Remember the email I told you about that generated $250,000? This is the email. She sent it to two people. They were commercial accounts who she thought had blown her off. She hadn't heard from them in 30 days. So she wrote these two emails out. She says, well, I got nothing to lose, right? They've already blown me off, so I'll just give it a try. Boom, reactivated two accounts within 90 days. Made $250,000 in commissions. I've had other people send me stories. One got 8 new contracts in 24 hours, leading to $10,000. Another woman in Canada generated 324 leads in 2 days. Another gentleman earned $8,000 commissions in 2 weeks. Here's this guy. He probably has the smallest list I've ever heard of, 61 prospects. He sent them the email. He got 47 replies, 37 appointments generated, and he got a total of 29 new clients. I mean, when's the last time you got a 50% conversion on leads? Unbelievable, right? That's from just sending that email. Or here's another woman sent me a picture of all the cases she quoted and then closed on her desk. So quick huddle. University studies show that if you write down your next step after you learn something, you're much more likely to actually do it. And that's my goal today, is to motivate you to take action, whether you want to work with me and do it, or you want to just do it on your own. So what is the first step you need to take to implement when you get back? Go ahead and post that in the question box. What is the first thing you have to do to make this successful? Okay, David, create a target list. Jeffrey, pull the list of prospects together. Yes. Clyde, take action. Good. Mary, load my contacts. That's right. Singh just says do it. Get the list together, says Reed. That's right. Excellent, guys. Really nice. Robert, you got a question here. Your question was, do you use an email signature or just your name? Whatever your regular email signature is, that's what you use. Okay, so if when you fire an email out of Gmail or Outlook, whatever that looks like, that's what you use. Excellent. Laura, short conversational. Excellent. Execute, says Mario. Beautiful. Very good. That's the next step for you. Okay, so remember, you're going to grab your list of prospects. You're going to load them into your system. You're going to write up that short email, mail merge the subject line or their first name, and get it out there. All right, let's talk about LinkedIn, because what I'm going to teach you today is a combination of LinkedIn and cold emails, which very few people are even teaching today. They might show you some things on LinkedIn, but I'm assuming most of you are on LinkedIn. And if you are, please connect with me. I'm an open connector. I would love to be connected with you. Not too long ago, LinkedIn did a study and discovered that 90% of people on LinkedIn have used an agent or a broker for at least some of their purchases. So if you think that LinkedIn doesn't have the right people, think again, please. Now, I will say this. If you are only going after people who are over 65, this is not the strategy for you, because most people on LinkedIn are under 65. Okay, so just I want to clear that, and I don't want to waste your time. If you came only and you only want to get over 65 and you're laser focused on that and that's all you do, it's probably not the webinar for you. You may want to excuse yourself. You could use the first email strategy though, and that'll work for you. You could also use the reactivation email that I sent you earlier. I have one more strategy that might be good for you, but you're going to need their email addresses, and I'm going to share that a little later. But I don't want to waste anybody's time here. I know both of ours is very valuable. So if that's all you came for and it's not for you, no harm, no foul. We're still friends. Okay. But for those of you that are, what's interesting is that another part of the study showed that the brokers that they interviewed, the agents, 43% found a new client, 43% generated an opportunity, and 30 secured a meeting. I mean, when you compare these numbers to internet leads, there's no comparison whatsoever. Right? And what's beautiful about these leads is once somebody connects with you, they actually know who you are already. It's not like buying an internet lead and you're calling and then you got to make this pitch about how wonderful you are and your firm and your years of experience and all that stuff, because they've already taken the time to look at you. Here's Chris, who sent me this really nice note. He tried it out, what I'm about to share with you, and he got his message out to 20 people. And he got feedback from 4, and he set an appointment with one of them that's going to net him anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. And that's from using this for about 20 minutes. Now, another beautiful thing for those of you that have an open mind, why so many advisors, especially the financial advisors, retirement planners, life insurance agents, totally miss this boat. They're all like, Jeremiah, get me leads over 65 or turning 65. So everybody's fighting over the boomers, and you got this huge swath of upper management, wealthy professionals that have 3 times higher income than Facebook users that have so much money, investable assets to be used, yet very few people are going after it. This to me is the blue ocean of the next 20 years for financial professionals if you're willing to shift your way of thinking. Now, would you guys like to go watch over my shoulder, or would you rather I do slides? Because I can open up my LinkedIn account and actually show you how to do the prospecting. But if you want me to just use slides, let me know. If you want me to open up LinkedIn, just press a 1. If you want me to just watch the slides, hit 2. Because I want to make this really fun and interactive so you can watch where I'm clicking when I do this. Okay, looks like everybody wants to do one. Scott, for Noah, Vince, Dwayne, Brian, Glenn, Singh, Reed. Okay. Sorry, Sally, we're going to do this over my shoulder. Okay, so pay attention. I'm going to jump out of the deck here and I'm going to jump into my LinkedIn account. I'm going to hit refresh. Just a couple things to know. What I'm going to show you, you at least need a premium account, but LinkedIn is taking away many free things that you can do with a free account. So if you're at all serious about doing this, you should invest in a Sales Navigator account, which is about $79 a month. But think about it, over the course of a year, that's 800. If you get one new client, for most of you, that's going to pay for itself. Maybe you need 2 or 3 new clients, and that investment will more than pay for itself. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you understand that. Now, let's take somebody on the line who would like to go after affluent professionals. I need 2 things from you. I need a zip code and I need a title. For example, 90210 CEO or 60610 CFO. Tell me the titles you're going after and the zip code. Yes, Mario, good point. Mario points out I have the older version. So LinkedIn has changed its interface. So when you go to your LinkedIn account, it may not look like this. It's going to be blue at the top. And my account still has not been transferred over. And if you notice, I appreciate you saying that, Mario. It may be your account looks like this or looks blue. Over time, LinkedIn is going to change mine over. I don't know why mine hasn't changed, but it seems like about 60% of accounts have changed over. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's grab somebody here. All right, I have no idea where this is, but looks like a cool zip code here. So we got Ken. You're going after CFOs in 46368. So let's do that. Okay, so here's what you want to do. I'll show you guys how to do this in advanced search right here, and then I'll show you a cool trick with Sales Navigator actually. Okay, so when you're doing a search, I want to look for CFOs. So Ken's going after CFOs, and he wants to target the zip code 46368, and let's do 25-mile radius. Ken, I don't know where that is, but let's see what we got. Okay, cool. We got 311. Now let me show you something else with Sales Navigator. So I got these 311. Let me show you what happens when I look at them in Sales Navigator. Remember, Microsoft just bought LinkedIn for billions of dollars and they're trying to make their money back now. So they're taking away a lot of stuff in free accounts and they're moving them to the paid version. Look at the results here, 845. Over here, I get 300. Over here, I get 800. Over double. Pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting. Okay, so here's where we are with this zip code, and we've got the CFOs. So let me show you how to prospect these people. Now, conventional wisdom, most trainers who are fine and great at what they do, but that's not what I do. I get paid on results. So I have to generate results. I have to generate appointments. I have to generate sales. So here's what they'll tell you to do. Find out what groups he's a part of, post to the CFO group, and engage with people. My goodness, this takes months. And most of the times you get so burnt out on it, you don't get results. So here's what I like to do. You're going to click on their name by holding down the control key. And I'm just going to start cracking these open like this. So you see how the tabs are opening at the top? This way I don't have to come back and keep running the search over and over again, because LinkedIn will limit your searches. So I'm going to open up Andrew Huff, check him out. Okay, maybe a young guy. Maybe that's not the kind of guy I want to go after. I want to go after a guy maybe makes a little more money, but who knows, right? If I decide I want to prospect him, I'm going to go to connect, and I'm going to choose how do I know we've done business together. Now, by the way, a lot of people freeze here. They're like, I don't know. I'm not a friend. I don't know him, and I don't have his email address. This is kind of the standard practice. We've done business together. By the way, LinkedIn doesn't even tell Andrew this piece right here. It doesn't tell him what I selected. So it's just a way for LinkedIn to mitigate spam. But what we're doing here is active prospecting, which is totally fine. So I'd say something very, very simple and innocuous. Okay, please do not prospect somebody in this connection message. A lot of people get low response because they put kind of a sales pitch in here, but that doesn't work. Let me give you something better. Hi, Andrew. I noticed we both do business in the city area, and I thought it wouldn't hurt to connect. Okay, and you just copy and paste that. Then I hit send invite. I go over here to Mary. I go connect, and I'm going to do the same thing with Mary, right? Choose that, choose my company, select all, paste my new message, send invite, on and on. Write these two numbers down, 50 and 10. If you want this formula to work, you got to do 50 connection requests per day and 10 prospecting emails a day. I'm going to give you some scripts in a second here. But 50 per day. If you're going to do less than 50, it's not going to work out for you. You're going to just give up because you're only going to get about a 30% acceptance, which is about 15 leads per day. Okay? Now, let me show you a really cool insider hack most people don't know. How would you like to actually get all their email addresses all in one shot? All right, well, I have this little widget here. I'm going to hit find email, and this will use an algorithm, almost like machine learning, that will study that person's name, company, and use 36 different permutations of possible email addresses in its database to grab their email addresses in usually less than about 15 seconds. So as you can see here, while I'm speaking, it finds usually about 70% of the emails. Look at that. I got Mary's email, I got Bill's, Drew's, Scott's, Kimberly's, Monique's, John's, and Jones. I got about 80% hit rate. When I go to my dashboard, I have all their emails right here, and I can copy and move these or upload them into my CRM solution and start prospecting. Isn't that cool? You guys like that little tool? How I got 8 CFO emails in 15 seconds? Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Okay, so that's how you do that piece of prospecting, and then you can start approaching them. And then, of course, now you're like, okay, well, what about when I connect with them? Perfect. Then you're going to go to your connections. And what you want to do is you want to filter them by your connections and your recently added. So the people who will connect with you daily, you're going to come here, drop a tag and say, okay, this is my CFO message, and I'm going to tag them so I keep track of them, and I'm going to send them my prospecting message right here. And that's how you do it. Okay, 2 different ways. You can just grab their email addresses using that stealth tool, Get Email, or you can prospect them through LinkedIn. Okay, so let me kind of put this in a visual formula, and then let me give you some scripts. So this is my entire 8-step methodology. You optimize your profile, right, by putting the right keywords in your experience so you show up and rank high in the LinkedIn search engine. We have group selection, which is choosing the right groups to join so you get access to more of those people. 50 connections per day, 10 daily outreaches, and then tagging and then sending them emails. Let me give you one of my top performing in my full program that I'll talk to you about in a little bit. We have 9 different ways to get you in the door as a financial advisor or an insurance agent. Funny enough, only one of them introduces you as a way to get an appointment, because my research and experiments have shown that when you try to open the door as a financial advisor or an insurance agent, it is one of the least accepted requests out of all professions. Salespeople get a better response rate than insurance advisors and financial advisors. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of unethical people who have ruined it for a lot of us, but that's okay because I've developed 9 different strategies. I've actually gone into the course and I'm giving you one of those strategies right now, so you probably want to write this down. This is a really good strategy for those of you in the audience who see yourselves as thought leaders, experts, or even if maybe you're a little shy, you want to present yourself as a go-giver, somebody who leads by giving value. And isn't that the way that all the best sales are made? And by the way, I'm very transparent in everything I do. What I'm doing with you today is I'm not teasing you with content. I'm actually giving you the content, right? And I want you to have a good relationship with me. So at the end of this, you say, you know what? That Jeremiah guy, he just gave me stuff without even asking for anything. I just had to show up. I wonder what his paid course is like if this is the free stuff. And that's what I'm doing with you today. I want to build goodwill with you. I want to build a relationship because I realize you probably don't know me. So I went on camera and I tell you a little bit about myself and I show you pictures of my family and what we do because I want us to build a relationship. This is how I want you to present yourself so you can get in the door. Now, this campaign is crushing it in even the most hardened and belligerent markets in the country. I have a client, I'm going to tell you his results in a moment, but who's in New York City going after CFOs. Can you pick a busier, more get to the point crowd than those guys and gals, right? New York City CFOs. The guy's 29 years old. He's been in the business less than a year. He's getting 1 new appointment every week with a CFO using this. You think you could do the same with 10 years, 20 years more experience? I know you can. So here's the campaign. The first email you're going to send after you connect is value. I'm going to give you a script, but this should be something like a blog post that maybe is on Forbes or Fortune, or maybe something on the NAFA website. You could have a LinkedIn Pulse article that you wrote. You can send them a link to an industry publication. Whatever it is, it should be something that gives them value. Then 3 days later, you're going to send them another email that, again, gives them value. We're not asking for a sale. We're not asking for an appointment. The third email will be sent 4 days later after the third one. And you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to give them value. Don't worry about the script. I'll give it to you in a second. But you're going to give them something that helps them move them along the decision-making process. And then finally, you're going to go for the ask. And then once you go for the ask, that's when you get the appointment. Now, how many of you, just put a 1 in the box right now, if you like the approach of leading by giving value, so you actually make people want to meet with you? How many of you like that approach? Yeah, awesome. Okay, like all of us, right? Nobody wants to be seen as a salesy person. Nobody wants to be seen as someone who's manipulative. We want to be seen as giving value. This is the campaign that does it. So let me give you a really great nurturing approach. So subject line, write this down. Thought you might like this. Hi, John. I just posted an article that shows how CEOs can improve their employee retention. For example, if I'm selling group benefits, right? I'd love to get your thoughts on it as a local CEO. Here's a link. Let's flip it up. Folks, tell me, let's do something live. Let's do something fun. Tell me, what is the type of insurance that you sell? What are the products you sell? We'll do one live right now, just so you can get an idea of how you can customize this template for yourself. Okay, Glenn. Glenn does life insurance. So Glenn, I'd say something like, hi, Glenn, I just posted an article that shows how CEOs can protect their assets using life insurance investment strategies. I'd love to get your thoughts on it as a local CEO. Here's a link, right? Really simple. Is that helpful, Glenn? Wallace, tax-free retirement planning. That's great. I just posted an article on how to save money for retirement without taxes, without paying taxes. I thought you'd enjoy it and appreciate it, as I've gotten positive comments from other local CEOs. Again, I'm not asking for a sale. I'm just giving value. Now, what do you think happens, folks? Tell me in the question box. What do you think? And by the way, I'm going to do something cool here. I just released my book today called Shift, 201 Proven Ways to generate insurance and financial leads online right now. What do you think? The best answer wins. What do you think happens in the minds of a prospect when they are prospected by somebody who just likes to give them good stuff to make decisions? What goes on in the minds of the prospect? I'm just gonna show this book to you. Can you see that? Okay. So that's the book. I'm gonna send a copy of this to the winner with the right answer. Who's first? Okay. So I just wanted to show that to you. All right. So let's see. They listen, they go for it, builds trust, they appreciate someone. I would like, I think, John, I think you got it, buddy. Well, actually, Chuck, they have a mental shift in the right direction. Wallace says, I got my book yesterday. Oh, that's awesome, Wallace. Good for you. Scott, you got it, buddy. Scott S. They want to reciprocate. That's right. Have you guys noticed that? Have you ever had somebody in your life? So, Scott, congratulations. You win the book. I'm going to send you a chat message right now. Just write to this email address. Congratulations to you, Scott. You just won my book. And Scott says, I just ordered the book yesterday. Well, you know what? You'll get another one, and you'll get a chance to give it to somebody that you want to help see their careers grow. So congratulations, Scott. Okay. That's right. It builds reciprocity. People want to do business with you. It's like they feel like they owe you something now. And that's when you get a beautiful introduction. Okay, let me give you guys another really good script. This is good for those of you, like I think one of you selling merchant services. That's kind of interesting. Here's what you do. If you're trying to get inside a large organization, maybe you want to do presentations to their employees, maybe you want to talk to them about executive benefits, golden handcuffs, whatever it is. You could subject line, quick help. Hi, John. I'm not sure if I'm sending this to the right person, but can you tell me who's responsible for employee benefits, merchant services, executive compensation plans, retaining better employees, saving for retirement, whatever. If it's not you, could you please introduce me to the right person? Thanks in advance for helping me out. That's a little bonus script, okay? This one has generated hundreds of millions of dollars and is very effective because if you send this to the CEO, right, and the CEO replies and copies the person who you want to get in contact with, what happens? Well, do you remember when you used to work for somebody and your boss would email you telling you to talk to this person? How fast would you jump on that email? Pretty fast, right? Pretty fast. So that's why it's a preeminent introduction. I've used this to get $1 million introductions in the past. Here's Michael, who does high-end personal lines, one new meeting with the CFO every week using the go-giver approach. This gentleman here, another one of my private clients out of St. Louis, got one new meeting with the CEO every week. In 90 days, this gentleman made $350,000 in commissions using this simple strategy I just taught you. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to tell you about my B2B breakthrough program for those of you that want to get access to high-end affluent professionals that everyone else is missing the boat on. And just so you know, in case you're wondering if it might be a good fit, this is a self-paced on-demand program that's designed to get you a flow of appointments with professionals, attorneys, C-suite, HR folks, executives, long-tenured professionals. I have 50 in total to be accepted. I already have 28. And if you're on my list, you know that I haven't opened this up to anybody since November. Okay, and I'm probably going to only open it up in a few months anyway because I'm focused on my book launch right now. So I'm only taking a few people. There is a double guarantee associated, so the risk is on me. Normally, it's about $8,000 to work with me in this program. $10,000 a month if you want to work with me one-on-one. But I have a special webinar-only offer that's coming up that I'll tell you about. But I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about what's in the program. But I have other things that I want to teach you first. And just so you know that the timeline, that what people tell me, within the first 15 days, we'll teach you how to monetize your current connections. I'm sure most of you have connections that are already in place that you could monetize that you just don't know how to approach. We're going to fix that problem. I'll also teach you how to optimize your social profile so more people will become connections to you and not just look at your profile and leave. In the first 15 to 45 days, your first sales meetings start to come in. And then within 45 to 60 days, if you're doing the program right, you should start to see a steady stride of appointments coming in every month, which you can then scale. Of course, you're going to get access to ongoing tools and resources on how to structure the meetings, the scripts, and the video trainings. And that's kind of all included in the program. But I don't want to get into a pitch about it first because I have a few more things to tell you. There's a couple of governing principles you have to master if you're going to be good at using this combination of cold email and LinkedIn. Number one, you should be a go-giver. So let me ask you a question. Put a 1 in the question box now. Do you consider yourself as a go-giver? Meaning somebody who looks for ways to connect with people and add value to them before you ever receive a dime. Okay, looks like there's a lot of go-givers here. Excellent. Do you enjoy meeting people face-to-face and learning about their businesses, their family, and their life? If you do, some of the elements in the program will very much resonate with you. But even in life in general, if you stop looking at people like big bags over their heads of money and what can I get out of this person, you would be amazed at how far you're going to go. And that's why I love doing these webinars. I know that most people will come to these webinars, take something for free, and leave and never say thank you. And that's okay. I don't mind that. I'm here to give because I know in my life, whenever I've shown up and I've just said, look, I don't care how many people get this course. I just want to serve this audience. You know what? Somebody on the line today, maybe it's you who's listening to my voice, is going to say, you know what? This is awesome. This can really change my life. Let's do something together. Right? And so that's how I want to invite you to show up in your life. I remember there's a guy earlier in the comments, he's like, hey, just get to the stuff. Well, what kind of approach do you think that's going to affect his life? When he, posts comments like, just give me the stuff, and you show up in life and all you're doing is gimme, 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 you all know what happens, right? Guess what? People can smell that in your email communications. Have you ever smelt a salesperson in your email? I don't want that to happen to you. Okay, principle number 2 is model what works. I've had the privilege of serving over 100,000 advisors in 51 countries, and it's given me a pretty unique position on what works and what doesn't work for successful advisors. And here's what I've learned. Most of us go through our careers jumping from one shiny object to another. Has anybody ever done that? Put a yes if you've ever done the shiny object thing. Okay, we all have, right? Sing, Glenn, John, Jonathan, Renee, William. We are brothers and sisters in arms. Joe goes, oh yes, right? Yeah. Hey, I've been there and I've done that. Okay. And what's happened in your career when you jump from one thing to another? Do you ever really succeed? Have you noticed that you kind of flatline, or worse, you go deeper into your rut when you jump from one to another? That's what happens, right? So why don't you just model what works? Man, this took me too long to figure out. I always thought I was, trying to prove something to somebody and I had to always have it better. But then I found out, hey, just follow what this other guy did and just put your own style to it. And then boom, my business took off. 7 figures working less than 20 hours a week. I mean, just when I said, okay, I'm just going to model what works. So here's my question to you. Why would you want to go through hours, months, or maybe even years of chasing shiny objects, trying to figure out what works, waste thousands of dollars, fall on your face, one course, one mentor, one coach after another, one seminar after another, one book after another, with nothing to show for it but a shelf full of books, a hard drive full of ebooks, when you can just simply model what's already working? Guys like this, I told you Paul's story, right? 300 appointments in 6 months. I mean, he's now averaging 3 appointments a day. I just talked to him last month. Here's a guy, Bill, financial advisor, right? Like a lot of you, no experience, but $35,000 in commissions in his first 3 months. Super nice guy. He just added 2 agents to his agency in 8 months. Here's the last principle that'll make you successful no matter what discipline, whether you choose to work with me, whether you work with somebody else, it doesn't matter to me. But please keep this in mind. This comes from 16th century physics. An Italian physicist came up with this concept called Occam's razor. That if you have 2 equally likely solutions to a problem, whether it's in physics, in chemistry, in business, in life, in raising your children, choose the simplest. And that's the one that will typically work out the best. So you've got several options today, right? I've given you tools, I've given you scripts, I've given you technologies to shortcut your success. And I hope that you will please use them in your business and prosper. But you have options. You can get off the webinar. You can go back to exactly what you were doing before. You can go back to reading the latest books, buying courses, hiring coaches, hiring mentors, trying to find the right thing, retrofit it to your area of insurance or financial services, or you can just do the simple thing and join a program where people have already succeeded who look exactly like you. So now at the beginning of the program, I'm just going to come on back on camera here. At the beginning of the program today, of the masterclass, I said that if I gave you massive value, I would have the right to share with you the enrollment qualifications for my new program. So I just wanted to come back and see, did I hold up my end of the bargain? So if you feel like I delivered massive value, that you would have been happy to pay for the content that you learned today, the tools, all the scripts I gave you, the subject lines, the reasonings, the psychology, the live interventions we did, do we have a deal where I can at least share with you the program, which of course you can walk away from. You don't have to do anything. You can just say, thanks, I'm out. But if we have a deal, please go ahead, put deal in the question box right now, and we'll get going. Clyde, Jeffrey, Singh, Joel, David, Scott, Chuck, dude, you are a giver and a great guy. Thank you. Awesome, Chuck. Appreciate you, brother. Joe, Joseph, John, Jonathan, William, Reed, Mark, Sally. Okay. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. So I'll just go off camera so it's not too distracting, and we'll keep going here. Okay, so we got a deal. Thank you, guys. Again, I just want to share the warning I shared at the beginning. I want to be very explicit. I'm really not, I'm a passionate guy. I'm not a hypey guy. So I want you to be clear. This isn't a get rich quick program. Leads aren't going to come flying out of your screen by pressing a button. This takes work, okay? I don't know how much you guys are going to make by investing in this program. It's likely that many people will make nothing at all if they do nothing with it. Okay, so as long as we're good and we know that if it is to be, it's up to me, let's jump in and let me show you what this course is all about. So if you decide to work with me, I want to invite you, send you a heartfelt invitation to let's really find out how to fill your calendar with quality introductions and meetings every month with affluent buyers. Let's work together to build your network. Because in the end, isn't that what a legacy is about? Is your network of business leaders, business owners, connectors, affluent decision makers. And let me coach you how, if you qualify, to create a lucrative, even a second income stream, where we use pay for performance cost segregation strategies to get into business owner doors. That is just turning the tide right now for advisors. I'll talk a little bit more about that if you're curious a little bit later, but this program has actually proven to create second income streams for folks. Let me show you how to turn your current network, right? The couple hundred people you're connected to right now, let's turn those into meetings in the next 2 weeks. And let me show you how to do that this month. Then let's also walk you through how to have these meetings so you build incredible trust, massive goodwill, and you convert 30 to 40% of them into immediate leads while quietly nurturing those that don't buy now into clients that will come in over time. So let's do that. Let's help you increase those sales in 90 days. Here's the thing though, a couple of disclaimers. Number one, you must be open to meeting and selling to affluent executives, entrepreneurs, and the C-suite that are under 65. Okay? I had a nasty email from somebody the other day. I guess a couple months ago, he saw this presentation. He says, I'm frankly offended that you would say, if I'm under 65, I cannot be in your course. I'm 67 and I'm a successful advisor. I had to say, whoa, 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 whoa. No, I think you misunderstood me. You can be 85 in this course. Just your target has to be people under 65 because it is business to business breakthrough, right? So I thought that was kind of funny. We're going to identify your obstacles to growth, and I'm going to share with you the $1 million prospecting strategies that are working right now for life insurance, annuities, prospecting techniques, automated email marketing funnels, and LinkedIn. I'll show you the path to get there with clarity, and I'll give you the roadmap, step by step, with all the scripts in a supportive and an interactive environment that's lots of fun. So here's what happens next. Once you enroll, here's how the course works. You're going to get instant online access to Module 1. and that's going to be delivered online. There's nothing to be shipped to you. It's to help you laser target your ideal prospects, convert your current connections to meetings, and rank your profile so you convert more prospects to leads. I do want to be very clear about this, okay? That if you're going to be serious about this course, you are going to need Sales Navigator, okay? You're going to run into so many walls with LinkedIn free that it's not going to be worth it. So if 79 bucks a month is too much for you, thank you for attending the program. I'm grateful for you, but this is not the right time in your life for my program. Maybe my book will help you more, or the training that you learned earlier today. Okay, so this does require Sales Navigator. I just like to be very upfront about that kind of stuff. Every week, I'm going to release a brand new training for you that's fully comprehensive with action guides and scripts. You'll have access to me through the private members area, so you can ask me anything. And we'll have a private mastermind where I can coach you. You can see what's working for other advisors in the program. You'll have about 30 minutes to an hour of work to do every day as you ramp up. So that's your time commitment, okay? If you're not willing to spend the time, again, please don't do this. Or if you're very busy, but you have an administrator, like a college kid could do this, one of your kids or grandkids. I'll even show you how to find people halfway around the world for 10 bucks an hour that'll do this for you if you want to do it, okay? But if you're going to do it yourself, you need about 30 minutes to an hour. Then I'll teach you how to scale it so it takes up very little time, eventually 15 to 20 minutes a day, to reply to all the leads and the appointments. I'll also show you how to outsource it. Now, I want to be clear, this pricing is not for everybody. My services are kind of expensive, and I mean, they're expensive if you don't make any money with them. But most people who pay me the $5,000 to $10,000 a month for a year, they'll make that back in spades. So if they spend $5,000 a month, they're making $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month. So I just want to be clear on that. And if you're at the place where it's not for you, you know what? I've been there. It's okay. Just use the stuff I already gave you. Okay. You can always come back and buy the full course from me at $8,000 if you wish. What you're about to see is a webinar only offer, which expires at the end of our class today with no exceptions. If you have to check with a spouse, a partner, a boss, you can buy it now at my reduced payment plan, and then you can decide so you don't miss out on the webinar offer pricing. Okay, so here's my offer, and there's the website where you can get it. All webinar attendees get instant access for a special low one-time price. The regular price is $8,000. The first 10 on the call today, you can get in for one time of $24.97 or 3 payments of $9.97. I'm going to tell you about the guarantees in a minute, which put the risk on me. This is the website, getb2b-now.com/TIM, short for time. I know that's misspelt, and it's kind of I was trying to be cute there, right? I guess it didn't work, but there's no E on the time because it's even shorter time to get you to your success. Boy, I shouldn't have even used that, right? I'm saying it out loud and I'm regretting it, but there it is. getb2b-now.com/TIM is where you go. I'm going to grab that and then tell you about the guarantee. So for those of you that are part of the first 10, I'm going to put something in the public chat to everybody right now, and should go out to the whole audience. Let me see if that, yeah, okay. Let me put the www so you get, yeah, okay. So you should see a hot link there in the chat, getb2b-now.com/TIM. All right. Let me tell you about the guarantees, and then I'll show you how to actually check out. So I believe that, hey, look, I've bought millions of dollars worth of media and training and all this stuff. And I always love it when there's a guarantee. So I try to put these in my program. So the first guarantee is the 30-day use it and abuse it guarantee. I want you to dive into each detailed lesson, download all my lesson plans, take the checklist, do the workflows, ask me unlimited questions in the members area, really maximize the program at my risk for a full 30 days. And if you don't like it, you get a full refund, period. I do have one simple condition. You must actually follow through and try the concepts in module 1 and submit proof that you did it using simple screenshots or ScreenFlow videos. The reason I do this is hey, this is like a test drive, right? So you actually have to drive it. You don't get in a car at a dealership, close the door, turn on the ignition and say, yes, I'll buy it. You actually want to take it on the road. Same thing. And I just do this to weed out. I know there's some people out there who buy stuff and then they just take the free information and then they send it back to the author and the creator and they say, I didn't learn anything. I want my money back, but then they go and use it anyway. That's just to weed those people out. I will ask you for proof. And if you don't have the proof, you don't get your money back. I'm just being straight with you. And it's there to weed out the people who do those nasty things to people who work hard to create a lot of value in life. Okay, here's the second guarantee. 10 new appointments guarantee. So for most of you, getting 10 new appointments every month would change your business trajectory for the rest of your career. So here's what I personally guarantee, that if you follow all the modules and you do the work and you show up to the calls and you ask me questions, you'll be meeting with a minimum of 10 new people within 90 days. Now, if you don't, there's usually one of 3 things that you're not doing, and then we'll get back on track with a private Skype coaching call. Just like we're doing today, I'll coach you. If we got to do a screen share, whatever, I'm going to jump in. I've got your back. Okay? So that's my guarantee. I have some valuable bonuses I'm going to give away as well to the people who join us on the call. But before we do that, let me just jump over to some questions coming in about registering, and I just want to show you how to do that. So why don't you do that with me now? Even if you're just curious, let's go to the page together. So if you want to open up another screen, we're going to close this out in about 20 minutes, by the way, so you can see the timer is counting down. Let me show you how to do this processing. So you're going to get to this page, and you're going to have 2 payment options. The orange button at the top is the best value. It's where you'll save about $500 in terms of over the payment plan. You get instant access for $24.97. But hey, if things are a little tight and you got to put this on a payment plan, I have that too. 3 payments of $9.97. So pick the plan that's right for you. I'll go ahead and click the orange button. And you're going to be taken to this page right here. Very simple page, okay? You'll notice this is lifetime access. So even though the course is delivered over 5 weeks, you get access for life, for your whole career, okay? I'm always adding new trainings. I just added this awesome training yesterday, actually, with an advisor who's getting meetings with entire roomfuls of executives using this program. And I interviewed him for an hour and asked him how he's doing it. It's brilliant. So you're going to put in your billing information here, and then you'll go down here to payment. You'll put your credit card number, expiration, security code, and you'll place your order. After that, you'll be given you'll get a receipt, which you should save for taxes because you can write this off as education expense. And you'll be getting a link to the username and password section of our website. If you have an issue, you can always email my amazing support team, support@agencygrowthacademy.com, and they'll take great care of you. Just so you know, some of us have really tight corporate email filters, and sometimes the confirmation email doesn't come through. So don't panic. There's a little white list handshake we can do over the phone with you between the 2 emails. It'll just take a little bit longer. We'll get you on the phone. We'll take care of you. So I know some of you, because financial institutions, it can be a little tricky sometimes. Okay, let me tell you about the bonuses you're going to get. So remember earlier in the course today, I talked about one of the 9 strategies that I use to open doors. Well, you're going to get all 9 of them, all the 9 prospecting frameworks in this course, okay? Some of them are power connecting strategies, some of them are go-giver strategies, some of them are power referral strategies. There's a script in there that, the very script that got my client the $350,000 in commissions, I give it to you in there. That's all in there. That's a $15,000 value. The next thing that's included is, we were just talking about it, scripts. So bonus number 2 are 50 of my best prospecting templates that you can use to start generating leads and appointments for advisors right now. These are copy and paste format. So you can copy them, paste them in your inbox or your outbox, I should say, and start ready to go. Instantly downloadable, battle tested, and compliance friendly. I know some of you are FINRA, and I just want to make sure you know there's a lot of people in my program that are FINRA. And because my approach is not to get you in the door as a financial advisor because it works so poorly, My approach is to get you in there as an industry leader, an authority, a podcast host, an expert, a go-giver. I use all these different ways. None of them makes any promissory statements about what you do. And if you have an issue with your compliance department, it's not a problem. You're just going to send me a picture or a script that you got to work with, and then we'll work together to make sure that that email template works, and then we'll share it with everybody as well, so it'll help them out. Okay, that's a $5,000 value for all those scripts. I normally get paid $1,000 just to write a 3-step email sequence, but you're going to get 50 of them in the course. Now, bonus number 3 is the Trojan horse strategy, and that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. You're going to get partner level access to our strategy, which positions you as a cost segregation specialist, tax credit consultant, where we're getting an 82% success rate getting in the door with business owners to meet with us. I mean, this thing is insane. You don't have to take a huge course. You don't have to be licensed for it, but you can basically get in the door, and we have a beautiful app that works on an iPad, a tablet, a smart device, where we ask business owners 10 questions, and we show them the different ways we're going to save them money off of their workman's comp, credit card merchant processing fees, and everything's renegotiated. It's not like they have to switch, but they go in and renegotiate. So if they can save the guy 50 grand on credit card processing, they'll renegotiate with his vendor, and then they'll bill him a percentage of the savings and then pay you for 3 years. Every month he pay their bills, you get paid. And we have people opening up, this one guy in the Southwest, he opened up a 69 office physician group with this strategy. Another one got the biggest car dealership in his state. Another one is opening up franchise after franchise after franchise with this strategy. Now, you don't have to use this. It's not 90% of the course. It's just 5% of the course. But I'm mentioning it here because some of you will really like this, because once we save $100,000 for a business owner, then we're going to tell them, hey, would you like to know how to best save that money, how to protect it from taxes, how to protect it from the IRS, how to save it for your children, to put it back in your pocket? That's the kind of strategies that we teach. Okay, bonus number 4 are our ninja automation tools. So you're going to get access to a list of our secret ninja automation and spying tools, so you can automate a lot of this. I showed you one today, right? The get email tool that allows you to get all those emails. You're going to get all that list throughout the modules. Plus, in bonus number 5, you're going to get access to private mastermind calls. This is where we get on the line. You can hear what's working in the field, look under the hood at successful strategies, and ask me anything. That's a $1,000 value per month. You can ask me anything in the members area. That's the next bonus. You'll have access to me personally, and you can ask whenever you have a question or an obstacle, so I can help rip that obstacle out of the way and get you back on track. I really love bonus number 7, and I'm very proud of it because we worked very hard on developing it. But a lot of times I notice people in my program were telling me, hey, I'm getting these great meetings, but I don't know how to say what I do without looking salesy. So I teamed up with one of my business partners, and we flew to Chicago. We hired a film crew, and we sat in a Starbucks-like environment, and we actually made over a dozen videos with the scripts to show you how to sit down and transition a coffee meeting into a presentation meeting about what you do. People have told us they watch these videos before they go to their meetings, so they have that level of confidence. So you never have to worry about what to say because all the scripts are there. Now, something else I'm going to do for the first 10 people that take advantage of my offer today, I have 2 fast action gifts. The first one is with one of our clients who's a top producer who has 11,000 people in his LinkedIn group and is doing 3 meetings a day. And of those 3 meetings, he's closing 50% of them into a sales process for his life insurance premiums, which are minimum $100,000 to get into. And he's doing it all through cold emails, LinkedIn, and group building. And we did a 1-hour interview. He even gives you the exact script he uses to get them to say yes to meet with him. I mean, this script alone, has been worth millions to him. The other thing I'm going to do for the first 10 is I'm going to team you up with an accountability partner. So, I've taken a lot of courses in my day, and I don't know about you, but have you ever noticed that if nobody holds you accountable, you don't do the course? You got to be like super disciplined, right? So I'm going to team you up with somebody in the course, and by next week, you're going to get the name of somebody who's not a competitor of yours, who's in the program with you, so you guys can hold each other accountable. That's a $500 value for for the first 10 people. So again, the total bonuses, I'm going to give you all my scripts and email templates, the deep training on my 9 strategic door openers. You're going to get partner level access to my Trojan horse door opener strategy, access to my list of secret ninja automation tools that have taken me 5 years to discover, bi-weekly mastermind calls with other members. You'll get on-demand training for advanced social selling marketing strategies, and of course, one-on-one training from me and support through the members area. Total value is $25,000. First 10 get the $1,500 in extra bonuses. Okay, so I know there's a lot of people who are getting excited and coming on board, but I just want to talk about a couple of things so that you can see, is this program really going to give you a solid ROI? Because that's what I always look at. So let's look at this. If you can get 20 meetings a month with this, and let's forget 20 meetings a month. What if you get 20 meetings a year? Okay, what is that? 2 meetings a month? Let's say you can go only 2 meetings a month with this course, 2 meetings a month for an entire year. Let's say 6 of them turn into good prospects, and out of the 6, 2 make it through your process and become clients of yours. If you're making an average of $4,000 per client and you multiply that by 2, that's $8,000. You invested $2,500, you made $5,500. Plus, you can scale it as much as you want, which is a 220% ROI. Now, if you take the example on the right here, so we just talked about the example on the left. Let's take the example on the right. I'm going to use the little highlighter here. 20 meetings, let's say a year. And let's say using our cost reduction door opener, you get 2 accounts, okay? Which can be about $2,500 a month in some cases. For 36 months is $90,000. Times 2 is 180. Your investment was $2,500. Your profit would be well over 100,000. But if this seems a little unrealistic to you, cut it in half. An extra 90,000 added to your commissions, or cut it in half again, 45,000, or cut it in half again, right? 24, what is that, 22,000? So again, I want to take it to the point where when you look at this emotionally plus logically, it may make sense for you to join our program today. And think about this. If you step back and just really think about this, if all this program does is generate 1 new client for you in 12 months, for most of us on the line today, it would have paid for itself, possibly many times over. I'm going to close today and then I'll jump into your questions, and I have a gift for everybody with the words of Tony. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no new action, you haven't really decided. And if you showed up today and you're ready and you want to take action, I welcome you to be part of the program today. Just go to the website, getb2bnow.com/TIM. That's getb2bnow.com/TIM. Okay, so I invite you to step up and take action if you're ready. I wanted to tell you this guy's story, Richard, out of Little Rock. In the past 3 months, he's had 149 meetings set up, and he's just getting started. I told you about Bill earlier. This guy, Jeff, this is kind of unique. He's in one of the most competitive markets in the country. And he's been averaging 9, he's in a secret place in Florida. I'm not going to give the name because everyone always tells me they want to talk to him. But he's in Florida. He's been averaging 9 appointments a week, and he doesn't have a prospecting problem. It's in the area that it's like got the most financial advisors ever because there's so much money there. I mean, I can keep going one case study after another, but I think you get the point. All right, I always enjoy this, giving away stuff. So for those of you that are still on the call today, here's what I'm going to do. I have a handout I want to give away, and that handout is called the Top 101 High Converting Email Open Subject Lines. And this handout has been responsible for helping people scale their open rates because it gives you templates and strategies that you can apply almost immediately to be able to get your emails opened up even more. And if you know anything about email marketing, here's a quick tip. If you can get your emails opened, you're almost 3 times more likely to get them clicked on. Meaning if you're asking for an appointment, if you're sending people to a webinar, if you're inviting them to book a meeting with you, all of that stuff. So just give me a second because I have to find it in our on my desktop here, and I'm going to drop it in there. In the meantime, I want to encourage you to write any questions you might have from our training today. You might have questions about the program, or if not, that's okay too. If you just got questions about email marketing in general and you want me to help you out, or LinkedIn, hey, I'm here for the next few minutes. I want to help you out. So please go ahead and type those in, and then I'll be happy to answer those questions. Okay, I just found it. I'm going to drop it in, and it's off. Okay. So I'm pretty pleased because GoToWebinar did not crash today. So that's pretty cool. All right, you should see in your handout section the cheat sheet. Now, when you open it up, don't be alarmed if the email subject lines have nothing to do with insurance. That's on purpose. It's designed to actually get you to think outside the box, because some of my best ideas came from other industries, and I brought them in and I tweaked and I studied and I failed, and then I found the formula, but they were borrowed from other markets. So I want you to be able to do the same thing. So you can grab that cheat sheet, take the examples in there, but then replace them with what you sell and the benefits of what you do. And I think you'll find it very helpful. I hope you enjoy that gift, and that's my gift to you for sticking around. So here, I'm going to leave this up on the screen that has all the details, and we're going to keep this offer up here for the next 8 minutes. And if you're one of the first 10, I want to congratulate you on the great savings you've enjoyed, and I really look forward to working with you in the program today. All right, so let's jump into the questions, and let me see who's out here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, how is this different than your Academy offer? Thanks, Wallace. Great question. So, Wallace, this is, I'm not sure which product you're talking about, but if you're talking about maybe my membership program, this is different than that. This entire course is strictly dedicated to helping you get high quality, affluent appointments using B2B marketing. So hopefully that helps. And just be a little more specific about the Academy offer, because my company is Agency Growth Academy and we have several products. If you tell me which one you're comparing it to, I'll help you out. Confused about the $5,000 per month? No, this program is only a one-time fee. There's no monthly fee. The $5,000 per month is what people pay me when they want to work with me one-on-one. So if you want me to just work with you and coach you one-on-one and be kind of your strategic mentor and help you implement the funnels, but that's not what this program is, Daniel. Clyde, makes sense. Best presentation on email marketing. Thank you for giving, and I will return for more training when I can better afford it. I feel we connect. Nice family and a giving heart. Thank you, Clyde. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that I added value to you today. Let's see. Steve, LinkedIn has the 3,000 ask limit. At 50 a day, you would go right through that. It's actually, throw another zero on there, Steve. It's 30,000. Okay, it's a 30,000 limit. So after 30,000, you're capped. And there's ways around. By the way, if you have Sales Navigator, they let you go really high. So, and by the way, Steve, even if it was 3,000, 3,000 divided by 50, that would take you 60 days or 2 full months of work. And if you're that aggressive, great. But I've been on LinkedIn since almost it started. I have 14,000 connections. Half of them I asked for, so that's 7,000. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You're welcome, John. Mark, do you recommend using Gmail? I would have thought not, but you mentioned it a couple of times. Actually, Mark, I love Gmail because there's so many cool apps that integrate with Gmail to be more productive. So I'm actually putting an article together about that really soon for one of the major magazines in our space, how to supercharge your prospecting using Gmail. And yes, it's very effective. Glenn says, great information, very helpful. Awesome, Glenn. I appreciate you, buddy. Mario, do you think this would work for me? I'm a reversed mortgage specialist. So Mario, I think you go after folks who have equity in their homes and are of a certain age, right? Like probably retirees. If you're only going after 65 and up, then no, this is not the right program for you. There might be a different program that might be a better fit for you, Mario. But if you're going after, if you sell other products like maybe life insurance or financial services, um, or something else, you try to get into businesses, yes, then it would be great. But if you're just doing over 65, it's not a good fit. Let's see. Thank you for your time. Looks like a great and worthwhile program. I'll look into it in a few weeks after I take care of other expenses. You're very welcome, Jeffrey. Not a problem. Just note, everybody, that the webinar only offer is while we are on the call. It does expire at that. Unless you find this again on another partnership offer, other than that, you can always come back and pay full price. Okay, Brian, I'm going to send you a chat message about your particular question. Okay, Brian, I just sent a note. Can you please write your request to that email I just sent you, please? And then they'll triage that. Okay, Brian K. All right, so just copy whatever you wrote, Brian, and do that. Joe says, good stuff. Thanks anyway, great info. Awesome. Wallace, I joined your academy last night. Oh, awesome, Wallace. Excellent. So Wallace, now I know what you're talking about. So for that, no, this is very different from that. So that one will touch on strategy, lead gen, prospecting, sales, with these on-demand trainings, which don't have, the step-by-steps of business-to-business marketing. I particularly created this course to help people with business-to-business marketing. So that's the difference there. But you made a great choice on that, and I'm glad to have you in that program. Thanks for the information, time, and effort, says David. You're very welcome. Thank you for sharing your ideas. Great. Okay. Well, looks as though that's all the questions we got today, folks. I want to give a warm welcome to everybody that joined us in our program today. Congratulations to Scott, who got a copy of my book. If you're on my list, you see the launch, and we'll be letting you know about some cool stuff going on later in the week. But other than that, folks, listen, let me just say thank you so much for investing in yourself today. Whether we decide to work together today, down the road, or never again, I hope that through this experience today, I added value to you, that I made you a little bit better in terms of skill sets and techniques and strategies that are working in the field. And please, by all means, use what I've given you for free and come back and connect with me. Write me a little note. Let me know how it went. I cherish those notes. I get wonderful letters every week from people all over the world using these ideas, and I really appreciate them very much. Okay? Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you at the top. Bye-bye.